A Wisconsin congressman is investigating whether the NFL is putting too many games on paid streaming services. Well, this year, at least one Vikings game and 4 Packers game will be on Netflix or Amazon Prime. The NFL will not allow TV stations outside of the team's home markets to simulcast those games. Now, some members of Congress say the NFL may be violating an antitrust exemption in the Sports Broadcasting Act of 1961.
It was not intended to provide a perpetual shield for leagues to coordinate the sale of media rights across every new technology and distribution platform that emerges. Yet that is effectively what has happened.
An NFL vice president says altering the federal law could hurt small market teams like the Packers, arguing that big city teams would get more money for their TV rights.